When Helldivers are called into action, their unified goal is to spread democracy far and wide, no matter the cost. And for this purpose, an explosive ordnance remains the most effective method. Regardless of the fact that our enemies stand in defiance of liberty, they will be fed freedom with force. To aid in this effort, our noble soldiers were provided a tool specifically engineered for widespread democratic dispersal. Suit up, divers! It's time to drop into hell. And on this democratic day, the SG-8P will be your instrument of freedom. Firing up to 8 shots of exploding plasma rounds per cartridge, the SG-8P, or Plasma Punisher, is a devastating force in the right hands. It can easily dismantle small infantry while scattering small waves and groups asunder. If there were one criticism to be had here, it's that the weapon would greatly benefit from an increased magazine capacity. Perhaps a newly developed 10 or 12 round cartridge would make the difference, as only having 8 shots per reload can at times cut things pretty close, especially when singular enemies take upwards of 5 or 6 shots at minimum to bring down. That being said, the Plasma Punisher's strength lies not in its singular target lethality, but in its punishing stagger and generous AoE. This explosive area of effect makes the Plasma Punisher an efficient wave clear for small trash, one-shotting all scavengers, baby spewers, pouncers, and even shriekers. Warriors and hunters take 2 shots. Hiveguard 4, while light armored spewers and commanders drop after about 5 or 6. Armored spewers unfortunately require up to 7 shots, even when focusing fire on their bulbous abdomens. This is odd considering the explosive nature of the Plasma Punisher, combined with the abdomen of spewers typically being weak points for explosive damage. Regardless, the Plasma Punisher does boast a surprisingly decent kill time for chargers. If you can focus fire on their fleshy rears, the plasma explosions prove fairly effective, more so than many other primaries, at busting that butt. As always, this is a last case scenario, but it's nice to know in a pinch that the Plasma Punisher isn't hopeless against our Rhino bug adversaries. While respectable in its effectiveness versus Terminids, there's no doubt that the strength of the SG-8P lies in its crippling ability to stagger and dismantle any automaton unit. From light infantry to hulks, devastators, and berserkers, the hidden talent of the Plasma Punisher lies not in its pure damage numbers, but in its substantial force of impact and armor penetration. As you may have noticed with other plasma firearms, the resulting plasma explosion on impact bleeds through the armor of most units. This is why the Scorcher has similar success against bots, combining its dependable accuracy with small plasma explosions. While the SG-8P lacks the straightforward range of its DMR brother, the lobbing of its projectiles can actually be a distinct advantage. This is especially true when you understand how to utilize their trajectory. As you see here, I'm able to arc my shots over the top side of this tank, while landing them directly behind or near the vulnerable rear vents. The splash damage from the plasma impact is sufficient to finish the job. That generous splash damage affords the user a considerable AoE to utilize, meaning direct hit accuracy isn't always required. This AoE explosion extends outward in all directions with a radius of 5 meters, effective at taking out small groups of light infantry, or even staggering larger foes by simply shooting the ground near them. This added flexibility in its approach to combat makes the Plasma Punisher a unique standout in the shotgun class. From berserkers to devastators and even striders, the magic sauce of the SG-8P is in its ability to toss around any foe dumb enough to stand in its way. This immense strike force combined with its AoE splash damage and ability to impact multiple units make this the ultimate stagger tool. Got a horde of berserkers heading your way? Blast them, stagger them, and watch them crumble before they even get close. A strider defending against your advance? The Punisher might as well act like a sledgehammer to the knee, knocking them back and then crippling them not long after. So now that you know its strengths, how can they be best utilized within a team dynamic? Well, it's important to understand that while the SG-8P is effective at destroying small units with a single blast, some larger foes like the Brood Commanders or Berserkers may require multiple shots, and it's important to understand that with these foes, your ability to stagger and hold them in place outweighs your raw DPS potential. This is when a strong team dynamic can prove vital, as a squad member like yourself can slow or even halt the encroaching threat, while your team inflicts the killing blow. Weapons like the Liberator Concussive or the Pummeler SMG excel at this tactic as well. However, it's only the Plasma Punisher that can boast of such a large AoE, so utilizing its effective knockback force is crucial in understanding its role in the team dynamic. It is best used as an AoE clear on trash mobs, or for staggering larger foes, giving your squad time to react and finish them off. For solo divers, this tactic can still pay off, but you'll benefit from the use of a rover in place of a teammate. The Punisher can be used to stagger, while the rover inflicts the additional damage. Ultimately, regardless of with whom you choose to employ it, the SG-8P will prove a reliable tool in the hands of those who understand its place. So let's bring it home. The Plasma Punisher is a simple weapon, but it's also quite unique, especially among its boomstick brethren. It favors plasma over slug or pellet, and a generous AoE with debilitating stagger force over pure damage and lethality. While it's competent against most any foe, its specific strengths make it an ideal choice against the bot menace in particular. And though it's certainly a capable weapon on its own, utilizing its area denial within an effective squad dynamic will truly make it shine. At the end of the day, even if the cartridge capacity leaves something to be desired, the rest of the package on offer here is more than enough to justify a well-earned liberty-loving stamp of approval. This weapon is an undercover gem, but it must be utilized properly to ensure its strengths are recognized. Divers who seek only a fast kill time will need to look elsewhere, but it will be the true liberty lovers, the democracy dealers, the freedom fighters, the true Helldivers. They will find and unlock its true potential. Inflict democratic plasma destruction, soldier, for Super Earth.